they call it Collargate. But I'm like, yes, bro. Like that, I was telling you, I was like, yeah, bro, you like shock him or something, or you throw this man up in the air, you're gonna be done, but career over with.
Everybody knows that the average IQ is.
All right, so here is the statement. The statement comes from Asmongold. Have you heard of Asmongold? It's another streamer. He's kind of like nerdy kind of video game streamer. He seems like a pretty humble guy though. So he said he called them low IQ because the average IQ in Somalia is 68, borderline retarded. I've actually heard this before. It's not racist, it's a fact. Another pathetic attempt to obscure reality to push a narrative. Now, I kind of wish I knew the context behind this, and we are watching Hasan's video, so let's not think too much. But first off, I'm going to say, let's ask Toby, is this inherently racist?
Yeah, because number one, like, don't know that. Using American IQ.
Well, how do we know if it's an American IQ test? Is IQ an American system?
Some of their tests. Some of the tests. Like most IQ tests are just pattern recognition. You gotta think if you're someone true. And theirs was lower. They say 60.
It says anyway. This says,
and then it's like you're literally in the middle of a civil war. There's limited educational infrastructure and restricted access.
Chronic instability, limited school infrastructure, poor health resources.
Like it's not just like I hate when they just be like, "Oh, this country has low IQ." Oh no, America, Israel, and the Middle East have destabilized these countries.
This says 87. So then.
Like that's 67, 68 shit is
okay, so then here's my question. Okay. So then my question comes down to this. Is stating that the average IQ is 68 racist?
If you're lying.
Because let's say that's actually that.
It's not 68 though.
I mean, it might be.
It's not 68 though. 84 is a lot.
This says 67. This says 68.
Because it says 68 because that's what they've been pushing. 90.8.
This says 70. This says 68, 67.
Wildly cited choices. Wildly, and it's just like, again, it's just like Nigeria, right? It says we have an average IQ of 67.
It says Nigeria does?
It says we have an average IQ of 67.
Yeah.
So that's not true though. Like literally think about most Nigerians you know.
Well, it's not about most Nigerians I know. It's about what the average IQ is. But the
thing is, again,
like it would be bad for me to go off of like my Johnny Nigerians. I know.
It's like education, limited school infrastructure, chronic instability, lack of health.
No, but here's what I'm thinking though. There may be a reason for low IQ. But is it bad to state that? I think those are two different things. Like, let's say
it's bad to state in the context because, like, if you're trying to use it as a stake to beat people with, like, hey,
we got to go off the context of this. Right, this is like, yeah. He said he called them low IQ because the average is this. Is because the average IQ in Somalia is 68. It's not racist. It's a fact. Another attempt to obscure reality to push a narrative. So right now we don't have the context of what they're saying. So it sounds like right now somebody's saying this is what the IQ is. I can't really tell if it's 80, if it's in the 80s, or if it's in like 60, around like 68 or whatever like that. So I guess it is one of those things where it's like, are you able to have the discussion around it? You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. So I think it's pretty interesting topic. Yeah, definitely pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think too. I know some TikTok people heading out. That's all good. We're gonna be doing Tofia Chew in a little bit. Shout out to the YouTube team still in here. Let's see.
Somalia is like 70.
Because I think this is one of those things where it's like, I don't know what it actually is. Obviously, I'm going to assume that it's average wise, like a little low. But I think this is one of those things where it's like potentially you can either form it in a type of way that like makes people bad, Or also it could just be
a natural observation.
Or it could just be somebody actually just stating like a fact and then people don't like it. Like for instance, if you say like in America, like let's say if you say like this particular race does like the highest proportion of crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like people really hate when you say that. But you know, that could just be statistically accurate.
That's never really true because it's like try to like, well, you guys do the high. Really a lot.
Well, I'm not even talking about black people in specific. I'm just saying, like, you know, in general. Mm-hmm. And when they say crime rates anyway, they're adjusting for the amount of for the population. Yeah, they're saying for how many of you there are. Okay? There's
one study that's not a real study at all, by the way, and yet it has been mass produced and reproduced over and over and over again. And honestly, if you just fundamentally believe IQ as an adequate,
that's what I'm saying. Intentionally mucking up the facts now to make somebody look bad is different.
That's what they're doing.
Well, I don't know if that's what they're doing.
67 is 67.
He just said, well, we looked it up on Google and I saw more 67s than I saw 80s. I mean, I just typed in average IQ in Somalia. You see what I'm saying? The AI overview gave 84, but okay, so I got 84, 67, 68, 83. Here says 90, 70. I don't got nothing for there. 67, 68. So I don't know. I wouldn't like if somebody like had a quick Google search, I really wouldn't put it too far past them.
I have one.
Yeah, but don't you think like if I mean, for me, if we have to dive that deep to find that specific website, then it's kind of hard to put that on somebody if they see 60 something.
But what I'm saying is,
you know what I mean?
Negative information gets.
You said negative information gets pushed out the most?
Yeah, in my opinion.
When it comes to yes, no. I think I just think bad information comes out. Just for in general, just because it's the media is always going to get money based off of clicks. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's always like it's always going to be easier to make up news than it is for there to be actual just news coming out. You know what I mean? So I think this is this is good. This is getting the conversation going.
Trick for efficiency, success in the real world. You're already a dumbass. You're being filtered across the board. But even from the metrics of like conducting a correct study here, it's the eugenists that basically made it the fuck up, and that was all it took for dumb. Yeah, the studies from Richard Lynn, who is a eugenicist, by the way, called The Intelligence of Nations. The problem is that Lynn is known for his history of promoting eugenics and racial hierarchy, and apparently is a self-described scientific racist. But the problem with that study in particular is that he didn't actually go and conduct a proper IQ test on the Somali population. He made it up. Literally, he made it up. This is made up. It's been reproduced, or not reproduced, sorry. It's never been reproduced because it's made up, but it's been used over and over again through like the bell curve and all the other scientific races. This is completely made up. It's not an actual study that was conducted. It's entirely fabricated. They were like, oh, we looked at starving children in Kenya and then we made up the results because Kenyans and Somalis are the same. Like literally, that's what if you look at the methodology,
let's see what he was saying.
Self-described scientific races. But the problem with that study in particular is that he didn't actually go and conduct a proper IQ test on the Somali population. He made it.
Now, this I could definitely believe. Like, this is coming from like one study, and everybody's grabbing it from that one study. Like, I think you were saying something similar to that. But you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, that's definitely going to be like a bad look. But I definitely don't like when like the narrative is like if you say something negative about somebody, it's instantly racist or it's instantly like bigoted, you know. And sometimes you gotta, because to me that opens up a world where it becomes you can't talk about anything unless you're an active part of that community. So that would be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be a world where they say like, hey, Jordan, you're not allowed to speak on things having to do with white people because you're not white. You know what I mean? So like, let's say there's something that I have critical that I want to say that I see happening in a white community. Like, I feel like I should be able to like say that without having them be like, hey, like, you're not allowed to like speak on us, even if I'm saying something truthful. You know what I'm saying? Because it may not be good. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like I think it keeps like dialogue open.
This is made up. It's been reproduced.
Let me know too, guys. Are you guys team Hasan or are you guys like team Asmongold? Like, you know. Because I'm about to start putting them on the channel a lot with these like locales too and stuff. Like their beefs really be kind of interesting. And I feel like it really opens up a lot of good questions. Like this whole thing about like, you know, just, you know, the Somalian IQ and everything really does like pose this question of, you know, like, okay, is it racist? Like it has kind of to do with spreading like misinformation, stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting, pretty cool stuff.
Reproduced, sorry. It's never been reproduced because it's made up, but it's been used over and over again through like the bell curve and all the other scientific races. This is completely made up. It's not.
Y'all see Kaya, aka Dollargate, 2026, just sitting over there chilling. You better not leave your seat.
Not an actual study that was conducted. It's not a real IQ study that was conducted. It's entirely fabricated. They were like, oh, we looked at starving children in Kenya and then we made up the results because Kenyans and Somalis are the same. Like literally, that's what if you look at the methodology, they openly reveal in the quote unquote study, if you can even call it that, I think they IQ tested like 8 Kenyan refugees that were starving in Israel or something, or Ethiopian refugees in Israel. And then they just decided the regional IQ for every single other person is, you know, give or take 10 points lower or 10 points higher. That's straight up where this number comes from. Okay. Yeah. They extrapolated off of like 7, I think it was like 7 Kenyan or Ethiopian refugees in Israel that were made to take an IQ test. Like even if some population is low IQ, doesn't mean they deserve to die or are less human. Was the implication here? Yes, that is the implication. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, like I mean, like yeah, I mean that makes a good sense too. Like let's say like all those other factors like Toby was talking about. Like just because like you know, let's say a country is low IQ and may just not have as much access to schooling, certain different things, maybe even nutrients that it takes to even like get to your brain, you know, different things like that. So you can't really just, you know, outwardly say that IQ is like the only things too. Like you can also think about different things, like for instance, like culture could play a good part. Like let's say one culture has a higher IQ than another culture, you know what I'm saying?
And it's just because they teach their kids certain things.
But think about it like this. Let's say one culture has a higher IQ than the other culture, but let's say the one culture promotes more productivity than the other culture. Just because somebody's necessarily smarter, like book smarter, doesn't always mean like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a lot of different ways to like look at it and everything like that when it comes to like IQ for sure. But I guess really the main conversation about this is, was Asmongold racist for bringing up the Somalian IQ?
Incorrect, but it's like racist bullshit. So that's what this is about. He called them low IQ because the average IQ in Somalia is 68, borderline R-worded. It's not racist, it's a fact. Another pathetic attempt to obscure reality to push a narrative. Once again, I said you're an illiterate shut in for believing this easy.
He's trying to shoot.
What is a IQ range? The range is under 70.
No, but the thing is, pointing that out.
I know what you mean. Like his term.
He's not doing.
Yeah, his terminology that he's
his
using.
argument is not good faith. It's trying to put people down. That's where the racism. And then you hit it. It's not racist. It's a fact. Because he knows the shit that he's saying is racist, but he's trying to like.
No, I think he knows. He knows. I think he may be pushing it because he may be potentially racist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think what he's saying is racist.
But he's pushing it. What you're doing is, but
you see what I'm saying?
That's fair, but you're pushing it because you are racist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's saying like for instance, if they have low IQ,
it's not racist. But when you are to put words together in a certain way,
that can do it. Yeah, I agree.
And if you look at Asmongold's probably older.
He said his older
tweets like regular
Your favorite pedophile protecting president has the intellectual capacity of an infant. The reality of the matter is the quote unquote study that they're using here is completely fucking made up. That's it. And I'm sorry, this might hurt some of your white supremacist feelings, but if you believe that, you believe in cope, okay? You believe in your racial superiority because you're a low IQ monster. There is nothing more indicative of having the lowest of the low IQ that you could possibly have than believing in this made-up bullshit. There are a multitude of different impacts on IQ in general. Nutrition is a big one as well, obviously.
Yeah, I think nutrition is definitely a big one.
There have been numerous...
If you grow up and you just not getting that food that you need to your brain, them nutrients that you need to your brain, it's cooked.
Studies that were conducted in India, for example, between famine season and post-famine season in India that shows like IQ actually wildly swings in the same group that's being studied when they have proper nutrition, okay? And that this 68 number is completely made up regardless.
Rock this or Google this or go on any .gov website. It would show you.
No, what .gov website? No.
All right, so it looks like we got Tectone weighing in.
The Somalian average IQ is 68. Okay? Yes, it's not up to say that Somalians are stupid because it's backed up by evidence. 68 is insane.
In short, the 68 figure circulates wildly in certain online circles, but is not considered credible by most experts as a true measure of Somali cognitive ability. There simply isn't high-quality representative data to give a definitive national average IQ for Somalia or many other developing conflict-affected countries.
Also think to it,
they don't do the it's not thorough research. It's not thorough research.
Also think too, it also depends a lot too on like where you live. Like in certain places too, it doesn't even matter for you to have this type of cognitive ability for the society to function the way it's supposed to function. Like for instance, you may have like if you live in a fishing community, you may have to have fishing knowledge. If you lived in a wood cutting community, you might have to have wood cutting knowledge. You know, some industries, for instance, if you live in New York, you know what I'm saying, fashion and having a high, knowledge of fashion might mean something. Whereas like, let's say you live in a third world country, having an understanding of fashion could be completely useless. You know what I mean? Whereas in New York, you can make millions of dollars off of fashion. So it's like, there's really a lot to it. I wish I knew like what Asmongold was responding to when he said that, to give me a lot more of a description of how he was trying to, you know what I'm saying? I do say with him saying, it was the R word. YouTube doesn't like it. YouTube really doesn't like that. But I do know people a lot of times like to combat that because, that's kind of been weaponized, lately.
Any such number should be taken with extreme caution as it reflects testing conditions and environment far more than anything fixed or inherent. This doesn't even actually give you the full scope of how made up this number is, because if you actually look at Richard Lynn's study, you realize that he extrapolated that information off of a totally separate control group. Just so you know, I know because I looked into it. There was never a moment where he went to Somalia and actually IQ tested the Somali population. You don't need to do that when you're a white supremacist, for the record. You don't need to do that at all. You can just make it up, and every other dumb moron will go along with it. The entire thing is fabricated.
I don't know about that.
Just so you know, it's one of the dumbest. It's one of the easiest.
I think some of them. I think a lot of studies are definitely
straight up. But of course,
trying to push a type of agenda for sure.
Self-described as a low intelligence person anyway. Honestly, I'd rather him be busy spending his days begging Grok to regurgitate his own delusions than sexually assaulting women. True. Straight up, though, now you are properly equipped with this information. And I'm sure, hold on, the study itself not only is conducted by a self-described scientific racist, but the African IQ scores, like the African nation IQ scores in that same study, are completely made up. Richards and his colleagues examined over 100 published studies, concluded that there is no evidence to back up his claims. Among other flaws, Lynn used selective data by systematically ignoring Africans with high IQ scores. The researchers also claim that African IQ test scores cannot be interpreted in terms of lower intelligence levels, as these scores have different psychometric characteristics that Western IQ test scores. Until now, the incomparability of Western and African IQ scores has never been systematically proven. It's not even that. The reason why it's been debunked is because they looked at the methodology that Richard Lynn utilized in his quote-unquote study, and they found out that he was just making those numbers up. Okay? He was making those numbers up. He didn't do random sampling, but he didn't.
It's time for a new study.
Like, those numbers are made up randomly, right? And you see, like, apparently Hasan has done the research, right?
No, Hasan doesn't do research, bro.
that he claims he did.
Hasan goes on Twitter, bro. Yeah, he's on Instagram. Yeah, Hasan don't be doing the research, bro. But I definitely would say they could definitely do a lot more studies to just like prove all this stuff out and everything like that. Plus, anyway, I think even if they do prove it out, like, I mean, I don't even think that would be like the worst thing. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know, as your society probably becomes more technologically advanced, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Those IQ scores are gonna go up. Like, I mean, that just kind of goes hand in hand. I believe so. You know what I'm saying? The more like schools, opportunities, and for education and everything in Africa that they have, you know, that'll do it. But, you know, really, I guess really the question here is, was Asmongold racist in his statement? I'm going to say yes so far. I'm going to say yes. Because I'm going to say the phrasing that he used, he didn't really have to use that phrasing that way. Now, is it possible that what he said was just an accurate, like, assessment based off of the facts that we have at the moment? Yes, but due to the phrasing of it, I feel like it was kind of phrased in a certain way that was kind of supposed to make like you know, people of color in like a negative light. I'd say
sampling at all when it came to the Somali population. Okay, he didn't do any sampling at all. He just completely made it up. I'm not even joking when I say this. The most famous quote-unquote white supremacist study on African nations and their average IQs comes from one self-described scientific racist who made those numbers up. To me, it is the greatest indication that you are a moron. You are unironically a low intelligence person.
Right, come on, Hasan. Let's keep it moving.
Here's some stuff Richard Lynn said. I think the only solution lies in the breakup of the United States. Blacks and Hispanics are
these guys always in there. Okay.
concentrated in the Southwest and Southeast and the East, but the Northwest and the far Northeast, Maine, Vermont, and upstate New York have a large predominance of whites. I believe these predominantly white states should declare independence and secede from the Union. They would then enforce strict border controls and provide minimum welfare, which would be limited. Obviously, someone...
Okay, so we see... Let's see.
If IQ were purely genetic and fixed, that kind of rapid change would be impossible. Evolution does not move that fast. Your great-grandparents were not biologically inferior to you. They just lived in a world with less...
Okay, so I think that kind of answers the question on this Hasan and Asmongold saga. I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to give this one to... do I want to give it to Hasan? Maybe? I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm going to give it to Hasan. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we'll give it to Hasan. But yeah, it's definitely a tough one because it's like you can only really go off the information that you're given. But if the information that you're given is bad, then you can't really go off of that. So that means you don't really have any information to go off, which means you probably shouldn't talk about it. But also, it's also hard to know which information is good information versus which information is bad information. Because let's be real here. It's possible that this could just be good information, just like it could be bad information. You know what I mean? So it's a really tough one. But let me know, like, in the comments what you guys think and all that. Like, do you guys think, like, this is, like, Asmongold, like, trying to, like, show his racist side and everything like that? And he's trying to use this as, like, a way to come at, like, people of color. Do you guys think that Hasan is using, like, another excuse to just kind of, like, you know, poop on Asmongold because he really hates Asmongold and all of that, and he's just kind of like, you know, essentially kind of what's the word, tone policing Asmongold, and he's just basically saying, you know, you can't say straight up facts or, you know, everything like that. But yeah, let us know and throw a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Okay.
Perfect. I think I'm actually